and welcome to a battle report for Operation Edgelord. This is a final battle report to see out Infinity N4 and to play for the fun of it. This is a homebrew mission and the outcome is not recorded for the campaign. However, if Bromad Academy want to, they are free to use it for their lore. The narrative to set the scene for the battle. Samantha Moneylady Harborg and Cynthia Edgeworth are two important figures in the lore of Operation Edgelord. Yu Jing released a memo stating their intentions to capture both ladies alive for interrogation into the financial handling of the asteroids and possible connections to organizations working behind the scenes. Nomads, taking opportunity when they see it, will attempt to capture one or both ladies. Nomads can offer diplomatic immunity to both Moneylady and Edgeworth. If things do not work out, we can always extract information before disposal. So the race is on to see which nation will succeed in capturing one or both high-value targets. This mission is a variation of the BAMS mission titled Last Resort. The game consists of one HVT, either Moneylady or Edgeworth, with 5 bodyguards. For this mission, we'll be chasing after Moneylady. The bodyguards are the CSU corporate security profile. The objective is to score points for capturing the HVT and bodyguards. All objectives for this mission are end of game scoring. The HVT uses a slightly modified hostile HVT profile. The hostile HVT and bodyguards can react in ARO as normal, that is, shoot, dodge, reset, etc. The mission is meant to focus on capturing and not killing. The added complexity is trying to complete the objectives from a reactive and moving team, along with trying to stop your opponent from doing the same thing. The mission-specific rules allow troopers to complete each objective. The mission-specific rules allow troopers to complete the objectives. Each trooper with a pistol in their profile also has the stun pistol. This makes sense as one would want to stun a hostile and reactive HVT to capture them in Casevac or Civivac state. Civivac state is the preferred because you would not want to shoot the HVT or bodyguards. They might go into dead state. The para ammunition is to help stun the HVT and bodyguards if one were to use CC attacks to capture them, which would make it more order efficient, since if a trooper were to stun the HVT in engaged state, then the trooper is already in silhouette contact and can spend an order to Civivac them. And anyway, it turns out during the game that Casevac is actually the better state, because you just have to get them in stun state and then do a Casevac, because Civivac evolves a whip +3 roll, I think, and it's a lot harder, so Casevac was the option during the game. So here are the profiles for the HVT and bodyguards. Moneylady can react in ARO with a pistol. I gave her BTS 3 for being able to establish a security network, but after reading the lore again, she was bluffing. So ignore the BTS of 3, it will be a BTS of 0. All other stats are extant. The CSU profile will be used as it is when I screen captured it in late November. I thought there was an SMG profile, but that may have been for ITS 15. This profile is for ITS 16. The bodyguards during the game must remain within zone of control of Moneylady. At the end of each player turn, the team move up 4 inches without generating any arrows. These are the permanent feature of the BAMS mechanics, and none of them applied to this game because as it was end of game scoring. So to add detail for the mission and terrain, Moneylady and her bodyguards start in the objective room in the middle of the table. Moneylady is the direct center of the objective room, and bodyguards are placed within zone of control inside the objective room. Moneylady is trying to escape from her predicament. She must move to the edge of the table and be within the circular template at the end of the game, not in a null state, can be considered escaped. The gates of the objective room start closed and open and close when moving through them. An exclusion zone, the same width as the objective room, extends to the left and right table edge. This is to prevent any infiltration or advanced deployment troopers from blocking Moneylady's path during deployment. Troopers can move into the exclusion zone once the game begins. Air deployment troopers follow the ITS 16 rule for border skirmishes for this mission. Deployment zones are 12 inches as standard for a 300-point game. After each player turn, Moneylady must move 4 inches towards the table edge, following the normal movement rules. bodyguards do the same, but must remain within zone of control of Money Lady. They can claim partial cover bonuses also. They will not have any fighting bonuses, it will be too difficult to complete the objectives. And after completing the game, yes, it would have been a lot more difficult. After both forces have been deployed, the player which kept initiative will roll a d20 to determine which board edge Money Lady will have to move towards. The player that kept deployment will deploy Money Lady in the center of the objective room and the bodyguards as required. The reactive player will roll the dice for Money Lady and her team and make relevant ARO decisions against the active player. At the end of the turn, move the team 4 inches and have at least 3 bodyguards face the next active player. This is to stop rigging the game for the next active player to advance without any arrows from the escaping team. So here is my list for the mission. I decided to split it into 2 snatch and grab teams. So Group 1 consists of a Harris team of the Evader, Mobile Brigade and Aguasil, supported by the Mobile Brigade with HMG just to do basic denial and defense from my opponent, the Daktari with a Zonbot for obvious reasons, and the Intruder as another deterrent against my opponent. Group 2 is a core fire team consisting of a Lupe Balboa, Aguasil Fort Observer, a Wildcat NCO Spitfire, and an Aguasil Paramedic. The Wildcat Lieutenant will be at the back covering the back table edge, and the Hellcat is there to do the snatch and grab within the exclusion zone. And this is my opponents list for the snatch and grab. They have a core fire team for Group 2, and a Harris fire team of Teutonic Knights in Group 1, with 3 standard Trinitarians and a Crusader for the same tactics, I assume. The game is set at the Blue Orchard Casino. Money Lady has been living in the casino throughout this campaign. The terrain is set up to reflect an underground vehicle park, what one would expect to find at a casino that is built, into an asteroid. So I won the Lieutenant's role. I kept initiative and chose to go second. My opponent kept deployment and chose to deploy second. So the game table is set up to represent such an environment as you can see here. So here's the deployment zone and location of my troopers. Let me just bring up the laser pointer. So for the terrain, all these upside down buildings and these large ones, they are all, and the objective room, they're all infinite height, so they're meant to block line of sight and to represent pillars of the vehicle slash car park. I have on my left a Harris team here consisting of an Aguasil Paramedic, Mobile Brigade Hacker, and Evader with AP Spitfire, Daktari here with a Zonbot over here, the Wildcat Lieutenant, the Mobile Brigade with HMG, and a core fire team consisting of the Aguasil Fort Observer, Aguasil Paramedic, Lupe Balboa, who's the current team leader, and the Wildcat NCO with Spitfire. And the camo token is my Intruder, and the Hellcat is kept off the table. Now because I chose initiative, I rolled the d20 and ended up being my right side, which is where Money Lady will deploy, and my opponent deployed Money Lady and her bodyguard here. So there are 3 bodyguards facing my side and 2 facing her side. And they deployed a Teutonic Knight Harris team here with an Order Sergeant Hacker, a Crozier core fire team consisting of 4 Croziers, 2 Spitfires, a Paramedic, and a multi-sniper rifle, and a Order Sergeant Hacker, and then 3 camo tokens and Robin Hood. And the Crusader is also off the battlefield. So I'll just provide a summary of each round. Time has been too short for a more detailed battle report, unfortunately, just because of certain life events that have happened. Now that I'm an official member of the Dad Affinity community, that is the reason why. So this is the beginning of round 1, and for the military orders, the Teutonic Knight Harris team up here ended up moving down here and engaging and killing the Marlborough Brigade with HMG. One of the camo tokens moved inside of the objective room and just sat there. The Crozier fire team just moved forward up to the objective room. The Teutonic Knight Harris team eventually moved towards here, and the TK Knight, that was a specialist operative, stood in the doorway, and there's a bit of fire and dodging between the security, the CSU bodyguards and Money Lady. And the escape team as a result just sort of shuffled or dodged just over here closer to the exit. For the Nomads this round, the Harris fire team moved forward, and the evade of the AP Spitfire engaged and killed the Teutonic Knight missile launcher. Lupe down here moved up through smoke here to advance, and so the core fire team advanced up with the Wildcat Spitfire as the team leader. The Wildcat Spitfire engaged the Crozier multi-sniper rifle and put it into unconscious. But obviously a couple of the Crozier Spitfires engaged and returned fire and put my Wildcat in unconscious. And the escape team moves a bit more, and at the end of the round they begin to move outside into the open. Summary for round 2. So this photo is taken at the beginning of round 2. As you can see, the fire team obviously has been a move for the last 2 turns. They're now located out here. So for military orders, they end up stunning 2 of the bodyguards here. So there's 2 bodyguards here. One was unconscious inside here, and there's 2 here, and Money Lady is here. So the Croziers end up stunning these 2, and moving forward, the Teutonic Light Shotgun and one of the Crozier Spitfires move forwards to Kazivac these 2 and bring them back in vicinity around here. I think the Spitfire's here and the Teutonic Knight's here. And that's pretty much what they achieve. And for the Nomads, this team moves forward and manages the Alguacil here, and the Harris team stuns Money Lady, and the Marlborough Brigade hacker managed to mobilize this Teutonic Knight in the objective room by performing Carbonite. And the evade of the Spitfire ends up having a bit of a shootout and goes in no-win incapacitation and manages to kill the Crozier, holding the bodyguard. And the paramedic moves forward and has a go at I think putting this bodyguard into unconscious. I think one moves over here, put this one in unconscious, or one of these ones here. And the Hellcat lands just here behind this corner here for the border skirmish rule, and comes around and comes around here. Money Lady's here because she manages to dodge still. Ends up getting put unconscious by one of these bodyguards that moves over here, and which is unfortunate because the intent was to snatch and grab and move down here. And the Daktari in the end manages to push forward the Zonbot further around, ready to resurrect the Hellcat. And eventually Money Lady moves and ends up in the center of the exclusion zone, although this is round 2, so it's in the round 3 that counts, so there's still a chance to extract her, or to capture her, sorry. Okay, for round 3. So this is the beginning of round 3. As you can see, my Hellcat's unconscious and Money Lady's ended up there. These 2 CSU are now unconscious. So for the military orders, there's a bit of a shootout between these people up here and my team down here. So some of the troopers that had Kazivac the bodyguards are now unconscious, and then the remainder of the forces just collect the released bodyguards and recapture them and just move them into cover. The Crusader lands here, ends up running to stunning and then capturing Money Lady, and then runs back around there towards the deployment zone. For the Nomads, the core fire team, because they're still broken, Lupe ends up pulling back here and then throwing smoke here to cover the advance of the Zonbot, which moves up, and the Daktari successfully doctors the Hellcat. and the Hellcat runs around here, puts down the Crusader, and then Kazivak's Money Lady, and then moves. Well, they're actually up here, so it comes around, shoots, moves, grabs, and comes back here. And that's the end of the game, and Nomads have possession of Money Lady. So here's just what the table looks like at the end. As you can see, there's the Hellcat with Money Lady in possession there. And the successful bodyguards that are captured, one has been captured by the Trinitarian here, the one that's unconscious, and this one has been captured by one of the paramedics here, the crazies here. Oh, and military orders also successfully performed their classified against one of the bodyguards. Now for the after action review. So Money Lady in a Kazivak state at the end of the game is 3 objective points to Nomads, and military orders managed to Kazivak 2 bodyguards and completed their 1 classified objective. So the game ended up being a draw. It was a complicated game, the reactive player not only having to decide AROs for his army, but also needs to think about the escape team's AROs, did end up making this game quite difficult and long and drawn out. For me, I do not care about the objective points. For the sake of the narrative, Nomads secured Money Lady, and that is the main objective. All else is of little consequence. So that is the end of the battle report. I hope you enjoyed the campaign. Next year, the campaign will be using N5 rules, if it comes out by then. And I think the setting will change because the game's narrative timeline moving forward by 5 years. So we may not be in the asteroid belt, we may be in some other location, but that's up to Bromad Academy to decide. So saying that, may you have a good Christmas and a relaxing holiday wherever you are in the world. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next year.